going on, YouTube? It's your boy ThatSingerReactions coming to y'all. This is the stars. This is a special Patreon request from Joe. Shout out to you, Joe. Not J-O, but J-O-E. This is the Star Spangled Banner as you've never heard it. I don't know where this is about to go. But we're about to find out. Don't forget my Patreon is in the description, where you get exclusive access, early content, and special requests. I do want to remind people, today is Patreon. I know a lot of people sometimes don't really pay attention to what I'm saying in the video. A lot of people will see that their stuff is not on this wave yet, and they'll be like, hey, you know, I was wondering when you were going to get to this, and it's a PayPal. It's not a PayPal day yet. PayPal is after today. We're back on PayPal's. I did Patreon yesterday. I'm doing Patreon today. Then we're on PayPal's. This is Patreon right now. Because just like PayPal, they're waiting too. I have to make sure that I do take care of them too. You know what I'm saying? I can't just do all PayPal and leave them. These are people who are paying a month in the dust. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So yes, like I said before, and you can't please everybody. You gotta, you really can't, especially when you get up to almost 120,000 subscribers. You can't. It's impossible. You know what I'm saying? So like I said before, it's better to just wait till when your time comes. It's better to just do that now, because some stuff is just kind of out of my hands now. You know what I'm saying? But right now I do got PayPal and CashApp closed. I'll open it up sometime next week. I only got it closed just so I can do some catching up. Like I said before, somebody sent me like $105 today, and I sent it right back because they sent. First of all, it's closed. That's one, but they probably didn't know that. They probably had no clue. But it's closed, and also they sent me what I really don't want people to do is they sent me about 6 to 7 songs inside of that one thing. Granted, that should be okay considering what you pay for, but I don't want it to be like that because that makes it more harder for me to catch up, and it makes more people have to wait. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and it'd be kind of disrespectful to just run through this one person because of what they paid for. So you know, I tell people all the time, one donation, one request. You know what I'm saying? If you make it separate, if you have to, but that's how you have to do it. All right, here we go. Let's jump into the Star Spangled Banner as you've never heard it. What's this supposed to be like? Somebody not singing it? It's giving me scary.
There was a lawyer once. His name was Francis Scott Key. He penned a song that I'm sure you're aware of. You've seen it. It's in most hymnals throughout our churches. It's called the National Anthem. It is our song as an American. We go, however, to a ball game. We stand in our church services and we sing the words of that song, and they float over our minds and our lips, and we don't even realize what we're singing. Most of us have memorized it as a child, but we've never really thought about what it means. Let me tell you a story.
Okay.
Francis Scott Key was a lawyer in Baltimore. The colonies were engaged in vicious conflict with the mother country, Britain. Because of this conflict and the protractedness of it, they had accumulated prisoners on both sides. The American colonies had prisoners and the British had prisoners. And the American government initiated a move. They went to the British and they said, let us negotiate for the release of these prisoners. They said, we want to send a man out to discuss this with you. They were holding the American prisoners in boats about 1,000 yards offshore. And they said, we want to send a man by the name of Francis Scott Key. He will come out and negotiate to see if we can make a mutual exchange. On the appointed day, in a rowboat, he went out to this boat and he negotiated with the British officials. And they reached a conclusion that men could be exchanged on a one-for-one basis. Francis Scott Key, jubilant with the fact that he'd been successful, went down below in the boats, and what he found was a cargo hold full of humanity, men.
Wow.
And he said, men, I've got news for you tonight. You're free.
Wow.
He said, tonight I have negotiated successfully your return to the colonies. He said, you'll be taken out of this boat, out of this filth, out of your chains. As he went back up on board to arrange for their passage to the shore, the admiral came and he said, we have a slight problem.
Uh-oh.
He said, we will still honor our commitment to release these men, but it'll be merely academic after tonight. It won't matter. And Francis Scott Key said, what do you mean? He said, well, Mr. Key, he said, tonight we have laid an ultimatum upon the colonies.
Okay.
Your people will either capitulate and lay down the colors of that flag that you think so much of, or you see that fort right over there, Fort Henry? He said, we're going to remove it from the face of the earth.
Wow.
He said, how are you going to do that? He said, if you will, scan the horizon of the sea. And as he looked, he could see hundreds of little dots. And he said, that's the entire British war fleet. He said, all of the gunpowder, all of the armament is being called upon to demolish that fort. It will be here within striking distance in a matter of about 2.5 hours. He said, the war is over. These men would be free anyway.
Jesus.
He said, you can't shell that fort. He said, that's a large fort. He said, it's full of women and children. He says, it's predominantly not a military fort.
So what kind of deal? Like, that was a trash deal. Like, you know what I'm saying? At what expense? Either way, we're, like, screwed. Like.
He said, don't worry about it. They said, we've left them a way out. And he said, what's that? He said, do you see that flag way up on the rampart? He said, we have told them that if they will lower that flag, the shelling will stop immediately.
Oh.
And we'll know that they've surrendered, and you'll now be under British rule.
What?
Francis Scott Key went down below and told the men what was about to happen. And they said, how many ships? He said, hundreds. The ships got closer. Francis Scott Key went back up on top and he said, men, I'll shout down to you what's going on as we watch. As twilight began to fall, and as the haze hung over the ocean as it does at sunset, suddenly the British war fleet unleashed. He says the sound was deafening. There were so many guns that there were no reliefs.
This is a true story, right? Like, ain't nobody just like. See, my whole thing is I believe, like, I believe it, but where did you get this information from? You know what I mean? Like, but I mean, I'm not really like telling this person that they're wrong, but.
He said it was absolutely impossible to talk or hear. He said suddenly the sky, although dark, was suddenly lit. And he says from down below, all he could hear the men, the prisoners, saying was, tell us where the flag is.
Rockets
what have they done
there.
with the flag? Is the flag still flying over the rampart? Tell us. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours into the shelling. Every time the bomb would explode and it would be close to the flag, they could see the flag in the illuminated red glare of that bomb.
Wow.
And Francis Scott Key would report down to the men below,
Okay.
It's still up. It's not down.
No surrendering.
The admiral came and he said, your people are insane. He said, what's the matter with them?
They ain't going. That's what's wrong
He
with
said,
them.
don't they understand this is an impossible situation?
They don't care.
Francis Scott Key said he remembered what George Washington had said. He said the thing that sets the American Christian apart from all other people in the world is he will die on his feet before he'll live on his knees.
Oh, whew. Okay, George.
The admiral said, we have now instructed all of the guns to focus the American Christian apart
That's a
from
quote.
all other people in the world.
That's a quote.
Is he will die on his feet before he'll live on his knees.
Whew.
The admiral said, we have now instructed all of the guns to focus on the rampart to take that flag down. He said, we don't understand something. Our reconnaissance tells us that that flag has been hit directly again and again.
That makes sense now. You sing, oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed, as the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streamed. And then in the rockets, yeah.
Again and again, and yet it's still flying. We don't understand that.
Even getting to that our flag was still there, like that.
But he said, now we're about to bring every gun for the next 3 hours to bear on that point. Francis Scott Key said the barrage was unmerciful. All that he could hear was the men down below praying. The prayer. God, keep that flag flying where we last saw it. Sunrise came. He said there was a heavy mist hanging over the land, but the rampart was tall enough. There stood the flag, completely nondescript.
Ramparts we watched.
The flagpole itself was at a crazy angle, but the flag was still at the top. Francis Scott Key went aboard and immediately went into Fort Henry to see what had happened. And what he'd found had happened was that that flagpole and that flag had suffered repetitious direct hits. And when it had fallen, but men, fathers, who knew what it meant for that flag to be on the ground, although knowing that all of the British guns were trained on it, walked over and held it up humanly until they died. Their bodies were removed and others took their place. Francis Scott Key said what held that flagpole in place at that unusual angle were patriots' bodies. He penned the song, "Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light
What so proudly
we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming,
whose bright stripes,
or the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air."
Is that the next line? Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed, as the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright, I'm pretty sure whose bright stripes and bright stars was next.
Air gave proof through the night that the flag was still there.
Okay. I like that.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner
Yet
fly and wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Okay, I got you.
The debt was demanded. The price, it was paid.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the
This is risky of me doing. Shout out to Joe for this. But I know for a fact this is gonna get so political in my comments. I'm just not. It's the reason why I'm just not gonna pay attention to like the arguing and stuff like that, because I think this song even had deeper like it was written. There was extra stuff in this song I heard, but it got removed because it just wasn't good. Now this is just stuff that I heard. But yeah, there's a lot of things in this song that has not been honored in the last couple decades, like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's been a long road, but I do love what our people stood for. We was not going. You said, please, you have to take me out. You said surrender. We're not doing none of that. Okay?
Or the
Parts we watched weren't so gallant.
We're so gallantly streaming, and the rockets break through, the bombs bursting in it.
It's good to get some visual aspect of this song now, because I didn't know like why the song was the song. You know what I'm saying? Listening to the story was great.
Keep through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free?
That part, I think, has been the most controversial part of the national anthem, especially in the last couple years.
And the home of the brave. Oh, say, does that star?
Oh wait, okay, he did it twice.
Or the land of the free, and the home of the brave.
But this was such a beautiful story, though. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. Psalms 33:12. Amen. Yeah, I didn't expect that video. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think I was gonna run into that video, but that was actually a really, really good video. And like I said, that was a good little lesson about, you know what I'm saying, what the words mean, because we can sing it, and as that person narrator said, a lot of people they'll sing that song, have no clue what it means. You know what I'm saying? They just sing it, you know. But yeah, it was great, man. I loved it. Thank y'all so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, follow me on all my social media platforms. Everything is in the description. Till next video, peace.